Happy Wednesday. What's good, Adam? How you feeling this morning?
Arun's dead. I saw on the timeline right before we jumped on, it was like a lot of Rune's dead talk out there. And yeah, I'd love to have Dogfather's take on it. He's got to be in the middle of this stuff. What's happening over there, Dogfather?
Hey, GM. Yeah, let's see. This today's space looks extremely exciting. I mean, that's why we have it. It's in danger, so let's see where we are heading.
Yeah, excuse me. The guy who posted the runes are dead thing today is also the same guy who posted the infamous ordinals are dead post. So I really I think he's just trolling, to be honest. I think he's engagement farming.
Yeah.
But I am seeing a bunch of people.
No, Jake, he's just good in calling the bottom. You know,
yeah,
he's
exactly
trading. I mean,
Adam, you heard from we have Rage. Is Ray Youssef is joining us?
I sent him a DM. We're just waiting for him to join.
Give us some details. Who's this guy?
So Ray, in case you guys don't know him, he was the founder of Paxful, which is, I don't know if you guys remember, it's like a peer-to-peer marketplace trading platform. I met him or know of him through Bruce Fenton from the Satoshi Roundtable. So that's how I kind of first ran into Ray. And I would consider Ray, at least when I knew him, you know, this was a year, 2 years ago, maybe. I would have considered him definitely like a traditional Bitcoin maxi, right? Like Paxful, he made a big announcement back in the day about like Paxful was only going to interact with Bitcoin, you know, no shit coins on the platform, that kind of mindset, which is, you know, totally fine. And that's kind of how I met him and learned of him. But more recently, he's not involved with Paxful anymore, but he's part of this one thing called Noone, which is Noone's app, which allows, again, it's a peer-to-peer marketplace, really focused and targeting kind of the global south. So he's a big believer in like Bitcoin's original intention, which is like freedom money, right? He's a big pusher of that, and which I'm totally on board with. And what I've seen recently is he's gotten in some beef with what I would consider kind of this traditional Bitcoin only maxi mode. He's like, no, we need to be open because Bitcoin right now in its current state isn't what I signed up for, which is Bitcoin in its current state basically can't be freedom money, right? So what are we doing here? We need to have a bigger discussion, you know, as kind of an entire space and as a globe, as the world, like, what are we doing here? And so I've been just tracking what he's been into and been on a couple spaces with him now. So he has not only Noone's, but he's building out this, I think it's a decentralized protocol, open source protocol called CivKit, which I think is how like, and this is part of what I'd like to talk to him about, how it's all built. So CivKit is like a foundational layer and then Noone's is built on top of it. Not exactly sure how it works, but you know, that's what I wanted to kind of get into with him, talk to him about it. And just to get his state on kind of, you know, what's happening right now in crypto and in Bitcoin, because obviously we've been a part of it with, you know, Ordinals, Bitcoin season 2, like moving on to like from this kind of very cabalish kind of Bitcoin maxi stance, and moving into like, well, what are we doing next? Because obviously we've had this like ETFs approval, Bitcoin price go up, everybody happy, but is this the way forward? Are we just going to be, okay, ETF, Bitcoin's at $200,000, everybody's psyched, or are we still going to kind of, are there some of us who still believe in this idea of like money 2.0, right? Freedom money removed from state. And so yeah, that's kind of larger, convo I'd like to have with Ray if he joins us here. Let me check my DMs, make sure he's seen it. So anyway, that's the intro to Ray.
A good old Reform Maxi. So he's going to be shilling Dogecoin here. That's generally what seems to happen. All the Litecoin fans and Dogecoin fans are all Reform Maxis.
It's funny because he did put out, I think he put out a poll or a tweet this morning, like what should, what's the next crypto that no one should, include on its platform. And it was like Monero, Litecoin, which one? And I wrote in the comments, I was like, Doge. Because it's hilarious and kind of crazy the way the space has moved, where we talk a lot about Doge and talked about over the last year building kind of NFTs on top of Doge, and we have Dogecoin maxis who are like, dude, what are you doing polluting the chain? Doge is money, and it's like, wow, we've really come to this like weird juxtaposition now, where you would have Dogecoin, which was literally built as a joke, and now people feel like it's money. And so part of my current thesis is that this whole meme coin super cycle is us as like a globe figuring out, well, what is going to be money? What are we talking about here? And kind of meme coins might be this like new money. I don't know how it's going to work out, but we're all kind of playing around in this field where it feels very much like we have this original vision of Bitcoin, which was free and fair money for people, peer-to-peer trading of money. It doesn't work that way in the way we've currently built Bitcoin out to be. So what's next? What are we going to do for this next, version? Are we going to rely on the original kind of Litecoin, Monero system? Is it going to go to meme coins? And I think at the end of the day, this is going to be a social consensus. We're going to all figure this out together. And that's pretty exciting to think about it that way.
You're telling me blast points are not money?
Bro, it's, at the end of the day, like anything can be money, right? I mean, gift cards, points, airline miles, right? It's at the end of the day, it is. But if my airline miles are controlled by American Airlines, they can rug me at any time. And I've had that happen. I had a lot of Marriott points at one time, and it was like, I don't even know what it was. I didn't get enough nights over the course of a year, and my stuff just got rugged, like completely rugged. And they were like, well, that's terms and conditions. That's the way it works. And so, I don't know. I don't know where this is. I don't know exactly where we are right now. But I'd love to get into it with Ray and talk about his. What's up, man? How you doing, dude? Thanks for joining, brother.
Ryan. I'm right here, bro.
What's going on, Ray?
I'm late, bro.
You're all good. Before we get started,
well,
hold on, Ray, 1 second. Before we do get started, I appreciate everyone who's joining. Make sure that you please repost the space so that everyone can hear the conversation we're about to have with Ray. If you have any questions for Ray, hit that conversation button in the bottom right-hand corner. Post any questions, or you could request to come on stage, and after our initial conversation, you could come and join it with us. So without further ado, thanks, Ray, for joining us.
Oh, yeah. It's great to be here, my man. I'm ready for all questions and all comers, bro. I'm ready in the mood to wrestle tonight. So let's do it.
Awesome. I also want to let you know, Adam and I are also talking through my account. We do a live stream. So just know that there's two different people talking through the Jake Allen account. So go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, Ray, you probably didn't catch my whole intro. I gave him a little brief overview of your kind of history and where you are now with Noone and CivKit. But can you give us like the, high level overview of how CivKit and Noone's kind of combined together? Like, is CivKit the foundational like layer of it, or how they kind of work together?
Yeah, man. No problem, bro. So Noone's is for everyone. You could call it a super app, competing in the same way that X is and maybe Telegram is, but it's really kind of beyond that right now. We're living in the age of the nation state versus the network state. There have been two attempted network states in the past. Facebook, with 2 billion users, It almost became a network state, but Libre, their payment system got shut down by a power greater than corporate, profit greed. Can you imagine what that could be? Then Binance, with a wallet that was quite useful for more than just crypto, it was building a lot of off ramps to the global south. And then CZ was crazy enough to add a peer-to-peer marketplace, which he, ripped off of me when I wouldn't sell my company to him. And then Binance became a real like network state. Then Uncle Sam saw that, you know what? No fucking way. 120 million users, an internal payment system, plus peer to peer. They didn't care so much about the shitcoin casino, but when they saw all of that happening, he said, "We got to stop this," and they did. They bought in CZ, and it's all the U.S. compliance monitor. Because they weren't going to let some yellow man have the world's first successful network state and become a trillionaire. Network states are about a lot more than just money. It really is the competition to the dollar. Because the dollar is more than just a form of currency. It literally represents an international state. Everyone that uses it is part of that state. So you can say the United States is a kind of network state because of the dollar that extends far, far, far beyond its borders. Now we have Telegram and X also trying to vie for that network state status. WeChat kind of did it, but under the control of the nation state, China, for that, nation state China, with it surely within its borders. And now no one's just trying to be that network state. So, I looked at the past and I'm like, darn, these guys had a lot of money, really smart, had a lot of backing, and they still couldn't make it happen. What mistakes did they make, and how can I, not make those same mistakes?
Yeah, Ray. So I have here pulled up.
Not
Ray, I'm going
we need
through.
to
Oh, never mind.
decentralize this thing as much as possible. So what are we going to decentralize? And then I looked at everything that was out there. I'm like, what the world really needs most is a free and open marketplace. It has to be decentralized. Essentially, what the world needs is anyone needs to be able to create their own peer-to-peer marketplace as easy as creating a blog. You should be able to earn from it, and all that liquidity should aggregate, to a global order book. And anyone should be able to trade with anyone else. Truly permissionless, borderless commerce. This is what Satoshi Nakamoto envisioned when he created Bitcoin. This wasn't just a ledger and a game of Snake. He also had a full, inventory and marketplace system in there with 11 opcodes, functions, and they were later removed. So this is what the world needs, and no one's as a brand, as a super app, with all these goodies, is not enough to make it happen. You need to decentralize the whole thing, and it's not enough that I build it on a decentralized platform. I need everyone else to come and build it, come and build, conceive an idea and build and compete with me as well. And I said, we need this open source architecture for life, completely decentralized. And that's how CivKit was born. Now, why did I call it CivKit instead of just Marketplace Kit? That's a good question, right? I called it Civilization Toolkit for a reason. Because when you look at a marketplace, and what a marketplace actually needs to survive and scale, there's three ancillary services it requires that are really civilization grade stuff, because 99% of governance is really about money. And if you're going to do it right, an order book and an escrow that make up this marketplace with a ledger like Bitcoin is not enough. You need three other things. You need a reputation system. That's hard. CivKit uses a web of stakes to make reputation happen. That take a web of trust of all of your trading partners and give you a reputation score without revealing the graph. And KYC, a form of identity is actually required. Instead of KYC that's centralized and broken, how about KYP? Know your peer-to-peer identity verification. We're close to actually doing that in the first version of CivKit. But that's not enough, guys. The second service you need is courts. What happens in case of a financial dispute? Someone must arbitrate, and there must be a decentralized judge. How the fuck do you do that? You need a deep pool of truth oracles that are incentivized to just have their own reputation. Then you need an appeals process. Man, it's hard. It's actually harder than Bitcoin to do that. I've done it in a centralized way. Now we have to do it decentralized, and also you need a system of minting, an internal form of cash. Because guess what? Everyone depending on Tether and U.S. Treasury bonds is not going to get us out of this one. And that's how CivKit was born. No one's will build on CivKit. It'll be the first one to build on CivKit. We're building on it now. But I encourage everyone to build on CivKit and compete with me, and I'll give them all the tools, progressive web apps that I'm making to them, so everyone can jump into this game. Because the only way that no one's is going to survive is if everyone's comes into the game. You can't stop no one's, and I want everyone to steal my idea constantly, every single day. That's how they work together. Is the explanation sufficient, my good man, or shall I go on for another hour?
No, that's good, dude. The actually, if you want to just make sure you get close to the mic because it is maybe a little bit low just for me, but I think you've actually identified the one thing that well, we've seen with CZ recently is like you become a target, right? So the idea of one person kind of leading a charge, you recognize now that is it's untenable. Like you will get taken down by the existing power structure. So I like the idea of trying to get other people to build it, build competing ones with you. I think it's actually relatively smart. But how do you look at it with CivKit specifically? Like if you have a team working on it, and I know you're partnered with at least one other guy kind of building it out, how do you look at that? As not an attack vector, if it's kind of a couple people who, basically control the GitHub and control the open source code. How do you look at that, like going forward, just from that kind of perspective?
I mean, it's a small team that has to build and do anything. We do have a GitHub and we do have a repo. What are we supposed to do? Keep it secret and just launch it? They don't take us seriously right now. It's too small. We just started. But they will. And look, when it comes down to anything, it's always a small group that's going to lead something. And it's me that's going to push this to the point of traction. Me, one leader that is trusted by the global south. There's no way around that. I've got a big old target on my back. I actually wore a target and gave a presentation about it in Ghana at the African Bitcoin conference, and got canceled. You should have seen the heat that came down on me after that. Crazy. But hey, there's no way around it. My job is just to make myself obsolete as quickly as humanly possible. And even to make no one's not just resilient, redundant, but obsolete as well. There's going to be so much competition that they won't be able to stop the army with the swarm of locusts that's coming at them. And there's no way around that, guys. There has to be leadership in the beginning. Satoshi was around. He was anonymous, but fuck it, he was around. I have the trust of the global south, so I have to do it. There's no way around it. I don't see anyone else trying to do it. They're all screaming Bitcoin fixes everything, and Bitcoin doesn't care, and Bitcoin is God, and all that garbage because they're weak, stupid bitches. Well, I'm going to do the fucking job like a grown man is going to do the job, and what comes, let it come. I've got God on my side. Is that making sense, brother?
I love it. This is what I love your passion and stuff, man. And we connect on a lot of ideas. It is funny, like today, like even with a lot of stuff happening on Bitcoin or any shitcoin casino, all this sort of stuff that's kind of taking place. Like the height of a project's success is actually inclusion on a centralized exchange, which is just like completely hilarious. It's completely hilarious to me that that's considered like the height of success, which is, 15 years ago, that would have been like completely opposite.
The approval of Larry Fink.
Yeah. It's insane. And like how we've gotten away from peer-to-peer exchange, where it's not even, I mean, we're barely discussing it anymore. You know what I mean? Is crazy talk to me. And so I love that, you're kind of leading this charge. One thing I would like to ask about is though, because when I used to, first found out about you when you were with Paxful, and you were, I think at one point you kicked Ethereum off of the exchange, or were only going to be Bitcoin only. How have you moved from kind of that stance to now being more open about, finding, or moving forward into what is freedom money now? What kind of walk us through that path of what took place there.
Yeah, no problem, bro. You know, I got all these people on my thread, my timeline now calling me shitcoiner. You left that Ray, Bitcoin Ray, you're a shitcoiner. Into this thing for freedom money. Bitcoin is proof of work. It was a truly resilient network to make the most sense. I wanted it to succeed. I didn't want anything else stealing the momentum. So I said, fuck everything else. Bitcoin all the fucking way. But I couldn't ignore what USDT was doing in the global south. Actually, merging is truly doing exchange. So I had that. It's still on my platform knows it's still Bitcoin and Tether. But then, you know, the wolf finally got looking for my eyes. I saw, hey, these bad guys couldn't keep the proof of work out of Bitcoin. So they took the peer-to-peer out of it. And their goal was to bury it in bank vaults on layers of KYC, ML. They did the same thing with Bitcoin, to Jesus Christ, Nikola Tesla. Deified them, created a cult around them, and the original message mission was buried in the dirt under miles of rubbish. And I finally recognized it and realized what was going on, man, when I saw the tactics of the maxis. Like, you know, I was a strong believer that I never attacked anybody. I never went around insulting people. You know, what they did to Roger Ver was disgusting. I know the block size wars were heated, but, you know, I don't give a shit about block size, that, all the other little things they want to fight about. It's silly tribalism. But I know how the dark side works. Whenever you see them attacking one guy so intensely, you know, wait a minute, something's going on there. And then they start attacking other people that realize what was going on, like Vlad, calling him accusing him of bestiality. And then Zuko messaged me and goes, I believe you tried to destroy the Bitcoin. I'm like, oh my God, bro, are you serious, man? Come on, bro. I'm the one that's, man, I've onboarded 15 billion into Bitcoin. 1 million people into Bitcoin. I educate. I built 13 schools around the world about Bitcoin. I was following the footsteps on various Antonopoulos. I never bought an ICO. I hold all my money in Bitcoin. I never launched a token. I don't support any other coin. You guys are coming at me, accusing me of this shit for just asking some questions. Something is up over here. I'm not stupid. I know how the dark side. It just go up. Corralled, hijack. You use the term whatever you want, but it's clear as fucking day, and I feel like a useful idiot that I allowed this to happen. And I see how stupid the Bitcoiners have become, like morons. And the final like failure for me was, man, children, babies are being blown up, and out of all of the Bitcoiners, only 6 dudes, including me, said anything. And you're supposed to be fighting for freedom money? Go get the fuck out of here, man. You're a bunch of fucking clowns. All you care about is the number go up. I mean, if there was a shitcoin project came up to you and said, oh, yeah, we're going to stop development. We're just going to keep all the money. All we care about is the number going up. We're trying to get these pension funds. We're not doing shit. Yeah, don't ask us about the money. You call that a fucking shitcoin. What's wrong with you guys? Software has to be evolved and developed. So what has Bitcoin really become? So it doesn't want to do the job of medium of exchange. You know, it's $30 to send $30. I'm like, oh, Bitcoin is not for everyone. No, fuck you. I'm in this game for freedom money, and freedom money is for everyone. Apparently, it's for humans can't afford $30 for a transaction. Fuck them. And this is how the maxis talk. I'm like, okay, so you don't want to be a medium of exchange. They all started attacking me when I started bringing it up, just like before. I'm like, okay, fine. You don't want to do this? Well, I'll find something that will. And if it means we open up the playing field to everything else and we let all of them compete to be freedom money, or they can all be freedom money together, we're going to do that. We're going to fucking do that. And Ethereum pissed me off because it was proof of work and became proof of stake. And artificial wounds Vitalik is this little fucking bitch boy. I'm like, what is this garbage? This is pure degeneracy. That's what pissed me off about Ethereum. But at this point, bro, we have to salvage freedom money by any means possible. So I don't care what the Naxis say. I was always in this for freedom money. I'll be in it for freedom money to the end. And it's up to me to actually deliver this to the streets of the global south. None of these other little pansy boys have ever had to step foot out of their hotel and do actual business and show people how things work. So, you know, I don't need to defend to justify my position. It's clear as fucking day. They don't want to do the job. Well, then we'll open up the gates for other people, other projects that want to do the job, and they can hold on to their little pet rock and they live big ass, private key, long passwords until the day of judgment, and they can show it to Allah and ask him how he feels about it. How does that sound?
Jake, what do you think, man? I told you he was spicy, dude.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's passionate. Cordy, we're gonna call on you here in a second. I have a few questions. First, I wanted to go a little bit into the past and learn a little bit more about Paxful. I have here pulled up on the live stream. I'm looking at an article that was posted in the Bitcoin magazine from October 26, 2023. And it says, the title says, Ray Youssef, the Ray narrative. From the withdrawal issue, excuse me, Ray Youssef tells the story of his time at Paxful and its ultimate departure from the Bitcoin marketplace. Could you tell us what Paxful is and what led to your departure? And obviously it sounds like it was a good decision because now you have Noone's.
Yeah, guys, I was enjoying my retirement, but the mission's incomplete, so I joined up with Noone's. No one's hired me. No one would ever hire me. I'm unhireable. But I did take Paxful from 0 to 13 million users, 80 million in revenue. Bootstrap, a bunch of morons. Professionally co-founded, total fool, and turned out to be a crook. So if you can read the article, you'll see what I went through. It's pretty detailed. But I went through hell, man. And the whole time I was just trying to save people's money and do the right thing. And I managed to do that. And I just walked away from the whole thing. Not a single penny that I get. I gave up all my shares. And I told them, all right, you want to take this thing? Take it. Good luck to you. There's no way that an American company can serve the global South. And there's no way that anyone whose motives are not pure is going to actually succeed. I don't care about money or some corporation. I care about fixing the money and turning everything on its head. So I encourage everyone to go to Bitcoin Magazine, type in the Ray narrative, and read the whole article and pass it to your friends to teach them that wisdom is key in this business. It's all about who you go into business to. Well, Noone's a share power with no one. Exercise full and complete power, not just as a tyrant, but as one day I hope to be my own military strongman, and I'm shopping for a nation vote. So if you're in the market for a military strongman, you do call me up. How about that, bro? You feeling that, man? Total transparency in that article too, by the way. I'm as transparent as a motherfucker.
Yeah, I can definitely tell. I also have here, I'm looking at some of the stats for Noone's. It says 48,000 daily number of trades, 14,000 daily wallet transactions. And then it goes on to talk about some of the reserves, about 356 BTC in reserves. One thing I've noticed, one thing I've been noticing as I've been kind of just scrolling through all of the websites and information related to yourself, is that it appears Noone's has a pretty large prominence down in Africa. Could you give us a little bit of description of the success it appears that Noone's has down in Africa, and what is the culture surrounding Bitcoin down there? Do they believe Bitcoin is money? Are they using it just to fight inflation in their local jurisdiction? Yeah, and so on.
Bro, that's a loaded question.
Hey, we got some time, right?
About the first part. Yes, sir.
Sorry, guys. I think I just want to say that Ray should get closer to the mic because we're having a hard time hearing him properly. That's all I want to say.
That's all I want to say, brother. Is it better now? Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
Can anyone hear me, bro?
Yep, we hear you.
Is it better now? Okay,
Yep.
Okay, great. Yeah, so look, you can see all that stuff as I make my entire CEO dashboard public, not just to the company, but to the entire world. That's revolutionary transparency, which is one of the values that I have in Noone's. It's everyone eats, bullish education, and revolutionary transparency. And I live by that. And I look for me to push the envelope on all those things and turn the entire corporate world on its head, ladies and gentlemen. Do wish me luck, because this success of this mission is imperative to our survival as a species. But on to the second part of your question. Why is Noone so big in Africa? Well, 10 years ago, I started, my first Bitcoin business, which ended up being a failure. It wasn't solving the real problem. And I said, Bitcoin has a promise to help people, especially in the global south. It's freedom money. So let me go there. Since I was born there, I was born in Egypt. My parents escaped from Egypt through America to New York for the promise of a better life. And I ended up arriving in Hell's Kitchen, New York, in the 80s, crack central. But my parents worked like no one's ever worked before. Didn't take a day off.
Oh, did Ray get rugged?
I think we may have lost him.
Ray, try hooking in.
Man.
Oh, there you go.
We lost you, man. Are you hooked into your Wi-Fi, brother?
Second, I think.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm definitely hooked into my Wi-Fi. I think it's the fucking car, bro. Hold on a second.
Yeah, no problem.
The car. I think it's kicked into the damn car, man. All right, maybe. I think it should be not. It should be good now.
Yeah, we got you.
So look, you got okay, great. So when I went to Africa and I saw what Bitcoin was doing over there, no, Bitcoin wasn't over there when I went there. When I saw their problems with money, I was like, golly, these people need Bitcoin so badly. Because I went there, I went to Lagos of all places, because the Nigerians had the most business acumen and hustle. And I was like, that's what's needed as an entrepreneur. You recognize these things. And they told me their problems with money. I was like, fuck, these people need it. These people are going to rocket forward. And I made a proud proclamation on Twitter. I said, hey, Bitcoin, Africa is going to lead Bitcoin and cryptocurrency adoption. Everyone laughed in my face. Said, oh, the Africans too dumb to figure it out. They're all a bunch of scammers, and so are you. And they only make $2 a day. What need would they have for Bitcoin? And fast forward to now, even 5 years ago, Africa took the lead, especially Nigeria. And it was hard, man, because how do you get them using Bitcoin? You convince them to use it, number one, but how do you actually get it into the country? How are the Africans going to pay for it from the Europeans and Chinese when you can't even send money out of the country? The problems there are so extreme, I actually gave it a name. I called it financial apartheid. That's what it is. The money is trapped. Even if you have a bank account in Nigeria or a bank account in Egypt or 5 bank accounts in Egypt or Nigeria, you can't trade. You can't use that bank account to send money to the country next door, let alone out of the fucking continent. That's how they keep these people trapped. That's how they keep them poor. Pan-continental trade is less than, they say it's 13% officially, but it's actually less than 1%. Pan-European trade is at 70%. The Africans can't even send money to the country next door. How are they supposed to trade if you can't trade with each other? You're just a mining colony. So I said, these people need Bitcoin, and they proved me right. But first I had to get Bitcoin into the country, and that meant I needed a hack. So I showed the Nigerians, hey, instead of getting money with Western Union and losing 50% because of the exchange rate, you're getting the official price from Western Union, which is half of the black market price. Why don't you tell your cousin Bill in Pasadena to buy you a gift card at the gas station with cash, send you a back of the gift card once you scratch it out, and you can sell it to some guy in China for a discount. Even if you're getting 50% off, you still come ahead because you get the money instantly. And you can turn around and sell it to someone next door for a bank transfer, and then boom, you just turn a gift card book USD into a bank transfer with Naira, and it happens in minutes. It's like a universal translator for money. And man, the Nigerians figured it out, and they went nuts with it. And I knew they would, because that's how those people are: extremely resilient, resourceful, and energetic in a great way. And that's how we got the first Bitcoins into Africa, with a gift card hack from America, Nigeria, and China. $60 million a week flowed into Nigeria of Bitcoin. And from there, it flooded out to the rest of Western Africa and then the rest of Africa. So it was a hack. And that's what these peer-to-peer marketplaces allow you to do, to have the same financial accesses as a multinational corporation and basically become a financial hacker in a good way. And I supported only Bitcoin for like 7 years. And the Nigerians ended up loving Bitcoin because I preached so strongly about it in campuses everywhere. Andreas Antonopoulos did some amazing work in the West and all over the world. But I was inspired by his example and did the same damn thing in Africa. And I really pounded the pavement like I was running for a presidential campaign, which is why Nigerians especially still love Bitcoin so much. But USDT under Tron has eclipsed us as medium of exchange by far. So, and that pisses me off. But did I answer? Okay, so there's a lot more to your question. The third part of your question was, how are they using it? So everyone in the West, when they think cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, whatever, they all think, scam, altcoins, it's how much of a return am I going to get? But it's not about that. They're using it as a medium of exchange over there, folks. They're using it to actually move money between borders. And that's the way that, they're continuing to use it. It's the overwhelming use case of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies as a medium of exchange. And Tether has kind of way overtaken Bitcoin in that regard. But that's how Africans use Bitcoin to solve the biggest problem that they have, which is financial apartheid. It's massive. You can't imagine how massive it is. And now, unfortunately, Bitcoin, the only truly, permissionless form of money that we have, has been replaced by a non-permissionless form of money, which is Tether. Kind of heartbreaking, but that's where we're at. Did I get all the points there, or should I, continue for another 20 minutes and give you some more examples?
Hey, Ray. Yeah,
how people use Bitcoin?
Ray, you did a really good job. I got one more question, and then I'll pass it back over to Adam. As I was scrolling through, I noticed that of the top 10 countries where Noone is being used, 5 of them were in Africa. Nigeria was number 2. And recently, a few days ago, I believe Nigeria came out and said that they expected to ban Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies in their country. What are your thoughts surrounding that? And even if there is a ban, through your experience, do you think that the people of Nigeria will still continue to kind of slip past regulation and still use it because of the apartheid?
Of course, they need to use crypto. The reason, the Nigerian government is cracking so hard on it is it's so damn effective at allowing the people to have full-on access. That, and the Nigerian people have adopted it tremendously. I mean, the first ban, the crypto ban in Nigeria, happened in 2020 when the Nigerians figured out, in math, hey, wait a minute, all the Remittans just use crypto for remittances, and they started doing that. Then it blew up, and the government was like, wait a minute, what happened to all this remittance money we're getting from Western Union? It disappeared. And they're like, fuck, it's crypto. They all figured out how to use crypto. So yeah, they're going to keep using it. They're going to find more ways to use it. And because inflation in Nigeria is at 5% a day, they want to store up value. And Nigerians, thanks to the work that all of us did over there, is preferred even over, Bitcoin is preferred even over Tether as a store of value. I'm getting it. I'm glad that's happening. But financial apartheid is still the biggest problem by far. And when I say this and say these words, people really don't understand what I mean. It's not possible until you actually go there. And you talk with them, you see how bad the financial restrictions really are. It costs more to send money from Nigeria to Cameroon than it costs to send money from the UK to Nigeria. In fact, even the mobile money networks like M-Pesa, which is dominant in Kenya, exists in 7 different African countries. You can't send money from an M-Pesa user in Kenya to an M-Pesa user in Ghana because Africa is the most over-regulated region in the world. I'll end it right there for now. I think a large part of what you said cut out, so I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, you got it. It's interesting, and people, you're right, Ray. People don't understand it. Even here in the Americas, I live in Costa Rica, and for a number of years, I worked for a U.S. government agency helping in relief efforts. So we would do like earthquake response. So there'd be a response in Ecuador, and we would be responsible for the U.S. government's response to that, and that usually involved basically paying money to American Red Cross or whatever. And I am not lying when I tell you, as a U.S. government agent, we had no way of transporting U.S. dollars into Ecuador. This is no joke. We would literally use Western Union, as you said, but Western Union would put a cap on it, even though we were a U.S. government agency. We would pay that 30% or whatever to send money from the U.S. to Western Union, but they would max us out at like 100 grand, which is like nothing for us. And so we would be flying down. People who would be going on the responses would fly down with $9,900 in their pocket to bring money into Ecuador and stuff like that. It's impossible to describe. And this is the U.S. government. This is not
right.
trying to send money. This is the US government couldn't do it. So anybody who doesn't understand what's happening, it's real. It's completely real. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? And you tell people that, and they're just like, Bitcoin's not for everyone. Have fun staying poor.
Exactly.
But
Well, one thing I'd like to get into a little bit, because I think it's one of the things that people don't talk about enough. We talk about it, Jake and I and Chris here on the show, is ID systems and reputational systems. And Saylor obviously came out with his thing a week or so ago, trying to build an ID system basically on Bitcoin. And in the crypto space, like, people have been thinking about this since 2011, ID systems. And tell me how you're trying to tackle this idea of IDs and reputational systems on no ones, because I think it is super critical. And obviously we haven't found a great solution in crypto yet, but how are you thinking about it, and how are you looking at it from this like ID resolution system on no ones?
Yeah, so I've been looking for the right DID solution to work into CivKit for a while. I talked to the TBD people, and they pitched, ION framework, this and that, the Civic and all this. I'm not sure exactly which one of these things to use for CivKit, so everyone else can use it. We still have to figure that out, and I have to actually like the team that's building it, because I don't trust most people, nor should you. But no one's right now has a system, something called KYP, Know Your Peer. So, it's a way to allow people to get started if they can't pass the full KYC test because their ID isn't recognized, many of these automated checks. Well, guess what? They can do a peer-to-peer system of verification, and it works. People are using it. It's tremendously useful. As far as what Saylor is doing, look, if it works and it's good, I'll use it. I don't have anything against Saylor. He's part of the machine. He's doing his part in the machine, and the machine has been designed to do this, right? So you can't get mad at him and start complaining or whatever, but clearly the eye of Sauron is on us. And the best way to control the opposition is to become the opposition. Controlled opposition. That's how the game works. So that's the state of the game that we're in. So I'm open to everything. If Saylor stuff works, we'll use it, but we definitely need a system, a global decentralized system of ID. Anyone that's screaming, oh, but everything should be anonymous. Well, fine. Yeah, people should be anonymous if they want to be, but the people of the global south don't really care about being anonymous. They've been invisible for so long that they're like, hey, I have to give my ID to get the access that will allow me to do my business. Here's my ID. Here's all my IDs. Here's a scan of my butthole. Here's everything you fucking want, but let me into the fucking system. That's all they want. So I'm cool with that, but it has to work, and it can't point bullshit. It's going to have to be real.
Yeah,
Because the truth is, in peer-to-peer trades, a lot of times your counterparty will want to see an ID because they want to know, hey, if I'm selling you some Bitcoin for a PayPal transfer, how do I know that the person I'm talking to actually owns a PayPal account? It's not some scammer from Belize or Egypt or whatever, So it's all a part of the game.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, and I love the idea of an arbitration system is important, but I think, if there's anything kind of Silk Road taught us back in the old days, was that, reputational systems work and markets figure out stuff very quickly. And as actually, like, usually the best system is just a free market where, as long as you can track who you're buying from and stuff, reputation catches up pretty quick. And like, if you have, like you're doing over there with trading gift cards, which is inherently risky because there's no way to kind of verify these gift cards, you have to basically fall into like a trust system, right?
Yeah, you need a system. Like, how do you know who to list on a marketplace and how to sort their orders if there's not a reputation system? How do you know who to trade with if there's not a reputation system? And reputation is very hard to get right. And in fact, if you're going to do the decentralized court thing, those judges need reputation too. So that's why we need to build all this, because the market demands it. It really does. You're not going to have commerce unless there's recourse. You're not going to have any kind of real business unless people know who the fuck they're trading with. That's just a part of the game. And then you have to balance that out with all the crypto anarchists and all this and that. But we're stakes, which we're, making a lot of really great progress with. But all these bits and pieces are needed to bring all this together, ladies and gentlemen. I wouldn't build them otherwise. Believe me, all these things are hard. Reputation and getting that right is hard. A decentralized court system, man, that's even harder than Bitcoin. But someone has to bring all this together, and I've been doing it for the past 10 years. And I'm, testing all these things out in Noone. It's a very advanced platform. Some of the biggest exchanges in the world, have launched peer-to-peers, and a lot of them are coming to us right now at Noone and saying, "Hey, man, can you give us a white label of what you built?" Our fucking peer-to-peer is full of scams and garbage, right? So, peer-to-peer is what everything we're doing is all about. Peer-to-peer is bigger than Bitcoin. It's bigger than crypto. It's even bigger than finance. It started with the internet. All these startups came around and disrupted every damn thing, but they couldn't disrupt money. Even with all these mobile phones, they still couldn't disrupt the money system at the core. And then we got peer-to-peer electronic cash. And I was like, fine, we finally have a way to actually fight back and build on. And we have to keep that dream alive. I'll stop right there. Otherwise, I'll get ahead of myself. I'm packing to go to Kenya right now to deliver some fire and get canceled again.
Ray, we like when you get ahead of yourself. I do want to call on Roderick. Looks like they have a question. Thank you for being patient.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, Ray, I think we have talked before, but like my question was, you're talking about gift cards. So like, how can you please explain the whole process? I want to get it properly from the US or from the Western, the gift cards, and then to China, and then to Africa. Like, what procedure would be there? And also, like, no one's is not listed, or people from the US can't use no one. So how can we work with them? Yeah, on that. I want to be clear on that.
Yeah, brother, just go to Noone's Academy, watch the videos. We've got a lot of videos on gift cards. It'll teach you how to trade gift cards, no problem. So you don't need to hear all that from me again. Just watch the videos. And it's up to you as a hustler to figure out how to get those codes. If you're doing some work for someone in the States or Europe, whatever, ask them to pay you with a gift card. If friends or family are sending you money, and educate yourself. Go to Noone's Academy and watch those videos, and you're good, bro. You can get started trading. It's a very profitable payment method, but also very risky as well. Do keep that in mind.
So I think what to answer your question about people in the US, Roderick, is people figure out ways of doing this stuff, right? When there's money involved, and we've seen that with our business, Jake and I and Chris, with Emblem Vault, is that if there's money to be made, people will figure out a way. And so obviously people in the States are doing it if there's money to be made, right?
Well, if you remember in the
That's right.
If you remember in the States, there was local Bitcoins and it got shut down. Ray, do you rub up against any type of regulatory constraints? I know in Nigeria, obviously we just discussed that, but are there any other countries or jurisdictions that you want to take no one's to, but you can't because it's like the US where they've completely banned P2P trading?
Yeah, crypto is completely illegal in the country where I was born, Egypt. Throw you in jail and torture you for that because they don't really understand it. It's a hard business. But look, just to finish up on gift cards are 140 billion a year business. That's just the official. It's like the trade. The secondhand, peer-to-peer to aftermarket trade is 10 times bigger than that. But you don't want to take no one's to the entire world, but some places we're going to have to do a lot more footwork, meaning political work. We'll have to go there and meet people. I met with the Egyptian Central Bank, and they're like, no way, Habibi. But maybe we'll start letting you educate people about it. So there's a lot of work to be done. I might go and visit the government of Pakistan. I might finally be able to get into Nigeria and talk to them about it. They're starting to open up the things, but they know this is the future. They just want to keep some control. We all have to understand the pressures that all of these global South nations are under and their leaders. they're under currency wars attack. These central bankers that run the world, they can make you twice as poor overnight if you don't listen to them, because they control price discovery. This is the big thing that not enough people talk about. These guys, they made Egypt twice as poor in one day. The Egyptian pound went down by 60%. Why? Is it because the Egyptian officials were buying too many penthouses in Miami, or the Egyptian people just stopped working, or the Egyptians just came out of the jungles and they can't do shit? No, it's because these central bankers, these shadowy super bankers around the world, control price discovery, and they can punish anything. They can say the price of this is that, and who's going to argue with them? They have that power. But all of this peer-to-peer trade, once it's all algorithmically calculated and you take it off, Telegram and WhatsApp and put it onto somewhere where it can actually be transparent, will actually give us a real street price for basically everything, from other currencies to cacao beans to crypto to everything. And once that happens, they're not going to be the only game in town anymore. And then we win. Ooh, that's an important point, but not many people get that. But they will one day.
It's really interesting, this idea of gift cards. Because when I was on maybe a space the other day, I had no idea the size of that global market. Is that simply because it's easy to transport across borders? Is that your overview on like why gift cards are so successful? Is that the main reason?
I mean, yeah, the gift cards are a digital asset with massive distribution, retail distribution, and it's a $140 billion a year economy, and it's trusted because it's backed up by real goods and services. It's crypto before crypto existed, and the people of the global south have found a way to use it. But the problem is they couldn't send it over borders, because they couldn't trade it unless they had a kind of counterpart to that would allow them to someone to go first. And that's what Bitcoin and crypto and these peer-to-peer marketplaces is an escrow. So you can send the money first, and then the escrow is released and you get the crypto. Wow. Now gift cards become really useful. You're right. It opens up the power of that massive digital.
That makes sense. Ray, I have one final question for you, and then we could call on any hands if there's anybody else who wants to come up and ask questions. This is a little bit more maybe of just your personal beliefs, because I'm just curious. You mentioned earlier that you were upset with Ethereum because it moved from proof of work to proof of stake. It sounds like then you believe that freedom money is based off of the UTXO model. Do you believe that other altcoins that run off of proof of work like Dogecoin and Litecoin could suffice to this freedom money? And also, does no one get any requests to add other proof of work type assets?
Yeah. 50% of the community voted for Monero. And then the rest was split up, Solana was second, and then Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, right? So it's looking like we're going to have to add these things, since the Bitcoin posse, took a step back, or two steps back. We're going to have to let everything loose here and let the market figure it out, because we've been forced into this position. Proof of work is important, guys. It's what makes Bitcoin Bitcoin, but you need to be peer-to-peer and proof of work. That's what gives you the resiliency and actually makes you a borderless, permissionless form of money. And whatever coin does that, I'm open to. Yeah, even fucking Dogecoin, even fucking Tron. They already took our fucking shit anyway, fucking sadly. The maxi in me is quite salty that everyone else turned out to be a bitch and ran away from the fight. So I'll finish the fight myself. They can yell and scream all the fuck they want, man. They can just sit there and enjoy their bags. I'm happy that Bitcoin is worth so much. Yeah, because I'm a lot, wealthier. Thank God for that. But it doesn't really. I'm not going to settle for a world where I'm just a little bit better off than everyone else, and fuck all those black, brown, and yellow people and all those poor white people. Ha ha ha. No, the whole point of this is that we come up together because I want more options. I don't want just one Dubai. I want 20 Dubais all over the damn world. I want to build cool products, and I want more people to be able to afford to buy them from everywhere. I'm greedy like that. My greed is not temporal. My greed transcends this life and the afterlife. I want it, for eternity. That's what makes me different than all these other clowns. That's why we're not the same. My timeline is infinite. You feeling me, brother?
Oh, I feel it. I feel
I
it.
feel it, man. I love it, dude. I love it. I appreciate you, man. This is like, I like people who mix it up. I really, really appreciate your ability to change course when you saw the way Bitcoin was heading. I think that takes a special individual, because most people can't, right? We get so tied to our bags, and especially being OG Bitcoiners, with maybe substantial bags, people get tied to it. And, so I appreciate you, pushing back on your own thought process. I think that's pretty awesome. Let's go to the hands. Mr. Hold, what's up?
Hey guys, good conversation. I came to this a little late, so I apologize if I asked a question about something that was already discussed. But I do have some questions for Ray.
Go for it.
I do subscribe to Bitcoin being, the ultimate, right? And I'm actually speaking to you now from the future, simply because Bitcoin is the ultimate time machine. And it's important that we understand that living in fiat is sort of a past tense environment, right? Which is why I come to you from the future. That being said, we still have to live in the past and in the present, and I'm pretty bullish on this whole gift card idea. I remember talking to Brad Mills like, I don't know, about a year and a half ago, and I said, man, somebody needs to make some fucking Bitcoin gift cards. It just seems like the obvious play here. So it's good to see that perhaps is being done. But let's sort of, I guess I'll get to my question. Let's apply this real world here in the U.S. when it comes to fiat, paying bills, so on and so forth. Like, if we're ultimately going to say that Bitcoin is not only a store of value, but a way to transact, right? We have banks that sort of control the flow in and out of money. We also have institutions that, if they charge you a card payment, you can't pay with a gift card. It just doesn't work that way. They don't allow their quote unquote on ramps to be accepted in that manner. Do you have any real world strategies that would be applied there? Going into gift cards and then trying to circumvent the banks in this process? I'm just curious if you have any sort of advice for real world applications in that manner.
I think I gave an example before. People using gift cards for remittances instead of using Western Union to send me the back of a gift card code. And I can sell that and get a bank transfer locally, right? That's how Nigerians use it all the time. A lot of people use it strictly for arbitrage because, they can buy the gift card for cheaper here and sell it for more there. The Chinese that are buying those American iTunes gift cards are using it because it's bought with USD so they can watch content beyond the Chinese firewall, right?
Makes sense. So basically,
so everyone has uses for gift cards.
Loading Bitcoin.
There's so much arbitrage with it. It's insane.
Yeah, what's a good marketplace for that?
Yeah, but gift cards are a huge payment method. We support like 200 gift cards. Just go there, do some searches. You'll see it in front of your face, brother. We have a special gift card marketplace.
Can you repeat that? Your microphone cut out.
Hope that answered the question.
Yeah, what he said, Mr. Hold, was if you go to No One's, you can actually see the gift card marketplace right on No One's. And I mean, it seems like a significant portion of No One's business and infrastructure is built to support this gift card business and try and be an arbiter of fraud and stuff, because obviously it's ripe for fraud, right? The kind of gift card business. And that's a really tough nut to crack. I mean, Ray, along those lines with what Mr. Hold was saying, has there been any movement to somebody just creating like a straight whatever Tron or USDT gift card where somebody can buy it at Target in the States and just transfer the USDT directly? Is there any bit movement in that kind of direction?
I don't know, but we'll be launching a Noone's gift card that people can buy in stores in the global South. As for America, I don't know.
I don't want to show anything,
I want to
but I
touch
can
anything in the States. Quite honestly,
I can provide some information.
But I'm welcome to working with other people that want to launch that in the States. But I plan on launching a Noone's gift card, Bitcoin and USDT, all over the global South that you can buy with cash at all of these retail locations. So I'm on that because you get an actual gift card system on a blockchain. It'll put that $140 billion year economy into and make it, fraud proof. You can verify a gift card code. That would be amazing. That would be huge for the global South. Gift cards were the first real digital borderless asset. The world made it borderless, and it's a business that really needs to be leveled up. And there's immense profit with that. So if you're listening to this, you're sharp, you want to change the world, no one's hiring. So come say hi.
Mr. Hold, you were going to say something there, or you got cut out?
Yeah, I don't know if it's my connection or
no, Ray's got like a delayed connection.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I very rude to interrupt him, and I'd love to hear what he said, so I appreciate it. No, I just I guess my perspective on
right
this,
here, guys. I can hear y'all. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool. So my perspective. Hello.
Yeah, we hear you.
Ray, we're you might not hear Mr. Hold is speaking, so we'll let you know. He's just maybe your connection's a little buggy, so we'll let you know when he's done talking.
So essentially,
I'm done talking. Unless you want me to talk, believe me, I can.
There's something I saw recently pop up on Solana, which allows you to utilize Solana and transfer it into NUSDC. I think they have a few other things, but yeah, he's not able to hear me. So just
hold on one second. Hold on. Yeah, Ray. So I think Mr. Hold is talking, but you may not be able to hear him because he's being rugged. Mr. Hold, if you could pop down and then pop back up, we'll call on the other hands and then we'll bring you back up. So without further ado, I'm gonna call on Chris, who's hosting the space and is a team member of Emblem Vault. What's good, bro?
Ray, man, so good to talk to you. Your energy is just, so powerful. Have heard you speak a few times over the years. And I remember the first time hearing you, I was just like, man, he is on a mission. That is a man on a mission. Really one of the people that I've referenced of just showing the power of how global something like Bitcoin is, and was really doing kind of an El Salvador type of approach, boots on the ground before any of that. So man, so much respect for you and the mission and everything that you're doing, just really bringing it to the global South. What about some insights into maybe Bitcoin penetration rates down there from before you were, really spreading the word and kind of getting the community active and down there and where we are today, and maybe how much further we have to go in terms of maybe Bitcoin adoption rate, penetration rate, and any other kind of useful maybe inferences you'd like to provide?
You there, Ray?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm listening. I don't hear anything though.
Oh, you don't hear anything either. Maybe. Why don't you drop down for a sec and then come back up here? I'll take you down and then come back up.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, sounds like his connection's being a little buggy. No, that's
absolute legend, though. Absolute legend.
That's a good question, actually. I'd be curious do you know what the penetration rate is down in any of these other countries? I don't know what country has the highest Bitcoin penetration rate. Would it be America, I guess?
I mean, I don't know.
Think
Go ahead, Chris.
It's usually just based on like kind of per capita rates, and I know Africa is pretty high up there. It just kind of depends, but yeah, interested to hear what he has to say from his point of view. See if we can get him back up here.
Yeah, we're letting him back up right now.
Yeah, I know Nigeria. I maybe a year or two ago saw some numbers where it was like off the charts as far as like percentage of adoption. Like I think it might have actually led the entire globe as far as like percentage of the population that are using Bitcoin. But I don't know if that's true anymore. Ray, you back? Can you hear us?
Hey Ray, can you hear me as well?
You're muted.
Yeah. Ray, can you hear us? You there, buddy?
Africa is just kind of good.
No, we may have lost him.
You might have to try closing your whole app, Ray, and then just come back in the room.
Yeah, if we can. Yeah, I know. I think the US has a penetration rate of like 20% or something, but I think those are all cryptocurrencies, not just Bitcoin specifically.
Yeah.
Africa is so unique because it's something crazy. Like 40% of the population is under 18. Some extreme statistic like that, where it's skewed completely towards just a younger demographic across the entire continent. So they're able to kind of leapfrog so many different technologies because they didn't have the advancements of maybe like telecom and everything else. And so they can go straight into the digital age. So it's really just kind of such an interesting place. I think it will be a leader going forward. It's just really difficult because they have so many different kind of local communities across the continent and the landmass is so large that it's really hard to kind of communicate between each other. And so we'd love to get a bunch of more on the ground inferences if we could get them back up here.
Yeah, Ray, I sent you an invite. You just gotta accept it. I pulled it up on my computer, the 2023 Global Crypto Adoption Index. I don't know if I should say it or I should wait for Ray.
I think Southeast Asia is pretty big too. Thailand or maybe something like that is
Pull it up.
As well.
Yeah, according to the 2023 Global Crypto Adoption Index Top 20, number 1 is India, Central and Southern Asia and Oceania.
Wow, that's crazy.
Hey Jake, I just sent you a DM. If you want to just vet it, I don't want to sound like all shilly on this space, so just giving you some info. That's all.
Shilly McShillin, go ahead, Shillis, man. What do you got, Mr. Holm?
No, I sent you the information. So I recently stumbled across something on Solana, which allows you to swap many currencies into a Visa prepaid card that you can actually add to Apple Pay up to 10K, no KYC.
Nice.
Yeah, it's called
send that over.
Paypaw.cards, PAYPAW.cards.
That's how Bitcoin traded many years ago. It was a lot of it was
Telegram
through Bitcoin.
So yeah, it's just look, it's cool. Like we all sort of try to live and breathe and operate in this space at all times, and sometimes we just want to be able to take advantage of not having to go into the banking system, but get some of the benefits of utilizing fiat. So this is a way I could do it. So just passing that on as a way to provide some value. So thank you.
I think one of the biggest players in the space is BitRefill. They've been around forever, really kind of having that commerce between crypto and gift cards. So if you're in that market, definitely check out BitRefill.
The difference here is the amount. You can go up to 10K with this. So pretty cool.
Excuse me, Mr. Holt. Are you giving help on the gift card way of getting gift card in Africa?
No, I'm not. I'm not giving anyone help. Do your own research.
Ray said that there's videos on his website. If you go to noonesapp.com or noones.com, he said that there's videos that you can check out yourself.
There we go. What's up, Preki? You've had your hand up for a while. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I was I was trying to commend Ray on what he has been doing in Nigeria, because I don't really I've been lacking a way to trade P2P until he brought out the Noone's app, and I don't understand how is it a lot like Paxful? I mean, even in security, does it work the same way as Paxful works? Are the moderators very, very sharp? Are they active?
Yeah, it's pretty similar to Paxful. Again, I went into this conversation knowing of Paxful but never used it. But from the conversation, from what I've read online, they are pretty similar products.
Okay, yes, it out. I've signed up. I use my PEO's code. I've signed up, and it really, really helps a lot. Like, I haven't encountered any fraud at all. Like, I'm using it for at least a month, and no fraudulent activity at all. So I feel like it's great. It's the next big thing. I'm not gonna leave it at all.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, we were going through the website earlier. It looked like there was 356 Bitcoin in reserve, right? So you've got multiple millions of dollars on the platform that's going through it. And it said that there was 45,000 transactions that happened in the last 24 hours across 13,000 wallets. So it seems like it's being pretty heavily used across the board.
Good, that would be great then. And Ray, I would like to commend you. Keep up the good work, and please, please, please don't let our insolent government get you. Okay, please, please. That's just the only thing. Try to stay safe, try to stay secure, and keep on giving us those hits. Thank you very much.
Stay free, Ray. Stay free. Let's go to Big Goddess. I got your hand up.
Hey, thanks, Jake. I do have some gift cards to give away from Swapping Gifts. They're like $5. I wanted to give them to the stamps community, but everyone's kind of freaked out because I kind of use a Google form just to get the addresses so I can send it out. It's on Polygon. And you can swap it with like Starbucks and Amazon. You get a gift code, and then you can just kind of redeem it. I've used it on Starbucks before. I used to work at PayPal, so I work with gift cards. I know the market pretty well, and I basically our clients were like merchants, so I work with sales. But anyways, I was working with a company called Swapping Gifts. I just wanted my art on the gift cards, so they gave me like almost $1,000 worth of $5 gift cards, and of course I don't want it. So I'm like just trying to give them away. So if anybody, and then I can send it to you.
Okay, everyone, just if anybody's interested, message Bit Goddess and you can get yourself a free $5.
Go quick, guys. Go quick.
Go quick.
Being given away.
If Ray isn't able to come up, then we'll wrap this up here pretty shortly. I will call on Roderick here in 1 second. I do want to go through the top 10 list of global crypto adoption. Number 1 is India. Nigeria was number 2. Vietnam, United States is 4. Ukraine is 5. Philippines, Indonesia, Pakistan, Brazil, and Thailand round out the top 10. Ray, can you hear us? Back on stage.
Ray's fully rugged, man. Time to upgrade your phone, brother. You need to get the new iPhone.
You guys don't hear me?
Now we got him back. There he is.
Right.
There he is, Ray. Made it. Did anyone have a question for Ray? Was that you, Preki? Or somebody had their hand up? Oh, Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, man, Ray, just your energy is amazing. Really have loved following your journey along the last few years. Just was looking for maybe some more inferences of kind of adoption rates, Bitcoin penetration rates from before you were touched down in the global South to where we are now, how much further we have to go. Just kind of, what are some maybe hard statistics or inferences you'd be able to provide for kind of us Westerners that are looking in?
The number one thing, guys, is I can put together infographics of all these numbers. You'll hear stats like, 30% of Nigerians have cryptocurrency. That's bullshit. It's actually less than 1%. It's just the quality of that 1% that is so prolific. Like crypto in Nigeria is a $60 billion a year industry, but that only can on centralized exchange volume that can be measured. The peer-to-peer volume is actually 10 times more than that. That's like a $500 billion business, which seems unimaginable. Oh my God, $500 billion in Nigeria? Well, yes, because the peer-to-peer volume is the ultimate signifier of the potential, the unmet potential of an economy. But let's remember, these shadowy super bankers, the main thing they want is to control the volume of currency in an economy. Because it's like controlling the amount of blood in circulation in the human body. You know, an average human needs 7 liters. Take that down to 1, they're in shock, white on the floor, helpless, weak. Take it up to 20, and they've got, you know, their heart will stop. So you have to measure it out. And economies are the same way. These economies, you know, are fucked because the amount of potential work is so high and the amount of money in free circulation is so low. That's what you have to understand. So all this peer-to-peer volume is really trying to restore that balance that the government simply can't do. The people will find a way around it. So all the official numbers are bunk, and you have to understand it's something that right now is it really still in its infancy. Like where Bitcoin was in 2011 is where peer-to-peer is right now. That's the truth. It is so early in peer-to-peer. Like look at Nigeria; it leads all the world's adoption by a country mile. Yeah, it's actually less than 1%. But you know the guys at Price Waterhouse Coopers and fucking McKinsey or whatever the hell these clowns are called, they're like, oh, 30% of Nigeria. No, these guys never left their hotel room when they went over there, so they don't know anything. You know, I was sitting in Ghana at a table with like 13 brothers. Between them, there's $100 million of volume every month. Young guys from like, you know, this guy was like 19, the oldest was like 26. So these arbitrage traders, these peer-to-peer arbitrage traders in Africa, the entire global south, these guys have tremendous power. These are the guys that got together and said, you know, Ray is pushing Bitcoin on us, but it's too expensive. We need something else that can help us move money a lot easier so we can leverage these arbitrage opportunities between exchanges and whatnot. And that's how USDT on Tron was born. It wasn't, you know, the Tether guys that led that. No, it was a bunch of these peer-to-peer arbitrage traders. They got together and made this decision and they pushed it through. That's the kind of power that they have. So, you know, it's the arrogance of, you know, people in crypto, especially the Bitcoin maxi crew. They think, oh, yeah, you know, you're irrelevant. The whole global south is irrelevant. Doesn't matter what these people do. No, believe me, without these people, we'd be nowhere. And the fact that they took USDT and they took Tron and they brought them both together and created a real means of exchange themselves shows you how resilient they are. So it's not about the numbers. It's about understanding the problem. It really is. Because the numbers, you know, you can't measure the will of a person. You can measure trading volume, and you can go on to noones.com and click on the CEO dashboard, and you'll see everything that I see. And I'll continue to be completely transparent with our numbers, but the numbers can't really tell the truth. Because you really, for the numbers to really mean anything, you have to understand the level of pain. The level of pain is tremendous. Financial apartheid is a very real thing. I don't know how to drive home the message. It's hell. Like these brothers painted an example from their own perspective and their own experiences of even the United States government not being able to do this. So imagine how Africans are. Imagine they should all be extinct considering how fucked the system is over there. Imagine how rich would America be if you couldn't send money from New York to New Jersey. It wouldn't be rich. So when you're talking about Bitcoin now and Bitcoin penetration, look, USDT on Tron has taken over all medium of exchange in Africa. It truly has. And Bitcoin as a store of value in hyperinflated economy will continue to persevere, and I'll continue to push it. But if people are looking for a store of value and anyone younger, they're going to go to any of these shit coins. And I hate to use that word anymore. I'll just stop using the word shitcoin. That's a maxi we need. But Bitcoin is really like, the way it's being led right now is really like just kind of running away from adoption, considering what people over there need. And, you know, Justin's son is holding the crown, which is very painful to me. But again, look, I don't want to gripe over here. It's important to understand the pain. And financial apartheid is a word we all need to start using, because that's the situation over there. That's why these people need a minimum exchange. And once they get it, you're going to see cities like Dubai popping up all over Africa. I swear to you, because there is tremendous wealth there, not just in natural resources, but it's literally in money in bank accounts that just trapped, cannot move. Ethiopia is another great example. It's illegal to use the money anywhere in the country, anywhere else. So there's all these examples, and there's 54 African states. They all have these problems, which is why I'm a Pan-Africanist, because, hey, if we bring this thing together, sky's the limit, man. The world will see an explosion of wealth that is simply unparalleled. Wish I could give you a better answer and have numbers, statistics out the wazoo, but I'm not a numbers kind of guy. I'm a frontliner.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just love the perspective from on the ground. That's something that I've respected about your journey the whole time, is that you're literally there, you're living it. You've been living there for, I think, maybe at least 5 years, maybe longer than that, since you've come up on my feed. You mentioned how difficult it is to get Bitcoin into the country. So are there basically like local Bitcoin merchants that the locals are purchasing from, and that's kind of like a pop-up gray market essentially, or what is that experience of getting Bitcoins to the locals?
There's no local Bitcoin. It's not like El Salvador or anything like that. It's all happening online, and it's all, these guys are building corridors, corridors between countries. They're leveraging arbitrage. It's very different from what we think. Oh yeah, some guy put up a little stall selling Bitcoin. No, it does not work that way. It's all happening online. It's happening on Telegram and WhatsApp, and people are doing sometimes massive trades. For example, merchants, they want to buy sneakers or whatever it is, slippers, or I don't know, stuff they're going to sell. But Africa doesn't make much stuff, so they have to buy that stuff from China. How are they going to make the payment? The TT bank transfer to, the Alibaba merchant's bank account. They don't have a bank account in China. So what these merchants are doing is like, man, they have cash, local cash. Either it's in the local currency or maybe they have paper US dollars, and they want to buy USDT because those Chinese merchants will take USDT, and they're just looking for ways to get USDT. So if you can, and then there's these merchants in literally every city in Africa. They all have huge hungers for USDT. And I wish I could be saying it's Bitcoin, but it's not anymore, guys. Sorry. I tried my best, but we have to figure out a new solution. So if you can turn local money in Africa into USDT, man, you'll be doing a lot of business. You will literally be doing trillions in volume.
Hey, Ray, since you mentioned Telegram, and I have very little information. I don't really track it, but I know they released a blockchain and stuff. Is anybody using their native blockchain at all for any sort of trading in Africa?
Oh yeah, everyone's running Telegram bots right now, and Telegram has Telegram is trying to be a network. So these guys said, how are we going to make money off fucking chat? And they were like, hey, what's going on in our chat rooms? And they saw, oh man, all the busiest chat rooms are these OTC chat rooms where people are throwing out liquidity. So they said, hey, let's start a wallet. And they said, hey, let's start a peer-to-peer marketplace. And they did. But the Telegram guys actually just contacted us. They don't have enough vendors. So they're coming to Noone's, asking Noone's to help them to bring more vendors and liquidity onto the TON marketplace. And we're going to help them because we want to help everyone. So it's moving.
Solid. I think, does anybody else have a question? I think there was some hands up. If not, then we will wrap this up here pretty shortly. Ray, do appreciate your time coming in. I know sounds like you're an incredibly busy man, but has a very honest and authentic mission. So I really do appreciate your time, brother.
Thank you, bro. And just remember, I would never kill myself.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll
the old McAfee reference, man. The old McAfee reference. It's funny. One final thought here, Jake, before you wrap it up. I think you might have posted the video from McAfee where, he was talking about Bitcoin was broken. I don't know. It might have been 5 years ago, where he was talking about, Bitcoin as a medium of exchange has been corrupted or co-opted to the point where it can't be a medium of exchange. And we're looking at it completely wrong. We're looking at Bitcoin number go up when we should be looking at Bitcoin. How can I use Bitcoin in my day-to-day exchanging And I think, you posted that the other day maybe, and I saw it and it just reminded me of that, and I think, anyway, really appreciate you coming up and talking to us and your viewpoint, which aligns with, go ahead.
Yeah, McAfee was a stud, man. He figured this shit out early. What I'm just seeing now, this guy figured out early. The dude was, total fucking Chad, lovable road. Genuinely one of the coolest people. I never met him, but the brother was on fire and he saw things that none of us saw. And man, they arrested him in Spain. He went down. Roger Ver got the same damn treatment. And now I have a whole bunch of monkeys and trolls coming after me. So I'm asking for the community's help. Whenever you see these fools attacking someone, don't just sit by and watch, and don't just try to put out a balanced perspective. No, just rip them and you fucking asshole. Be a complete and total fucking savage. Ravage them, man. That's how you have to do it. You do not counter an attack with a 50% kind of fuck all that, man. Rip them and you fucking asshole. Stand up for anyone you see trying to do the right thing, because we might not have another chance. We're losing our heroes. We lost McPhee, Ver's in jail. CZ's going to jail. There's just my old Egyptian ass sitting over here trying to make this happen. I cannot do it alone. Stand up to all of these clowns. If you see these maxis sipping the same old Kool-Aid, glue, and drinking the same old Kool-Aid, and they still don't fucking get it, and you think they're not a bot, slap some fucking sense into them. Be a fucking ruthless savage about this shit, because we do not have much time. We have 6 years before the WEF agenda reaches maturity, and God knows how many eggs of evil they have waiting to hatch. So we need to be fucking aggressive here. Be fucking aggressive. Fight back. Defend, not just defensively. Go on the fucking offense, man. Seriously. I mean, right now, as I'm talking to you, children are being blown the fuck up and no one seems to care, man. Fuck all that shit. This is a test for humanity that we're in right now. And we must solve the money problem, but we must defend all fucking fronts. Do not be afraid. There's not going to be a battle after this one. If we lose this one, that's it. We're fucked. We either get 1,000 years of darkness living as slaves, or God will just reset the whole shit like Noah. Either way, it's not fucking cool. But we have a chance to really win this one in the next 6 years. It'll be really dark, but man, after this, we're going to have a period of the greatest advancement, innovation, just prosperity that the world has ever seen. I guarantee it. But make your ride worth it. Put in your piece. Be based and be savage as fuck, and defend the heroes out there. If you see them attacking one dude, he's the good guy, and defend that person no matter how bad it is. Remember, the reason we're all fucked right now is we've been drowning in a sea of lies for the past 70 years. This goes triply for any Americans out there, because we're the most brainwashed people in the world. Rip everyone a new asshole. Defend the boundaries, man. You see some fools saying, Bitcoin is God. Slap the shit out of that bitch. Bitcoin is not God. It's just a fucking piece of code, man. You think Bitcoin made the heavens and the earth, you stupid piece of shit? Fucking moron. You're going to bring humiliation and damnation upon us. It's not a fucking game. We're fighting for the whole damn thing right now, man. For the whole damn fucking universe. So put your big boy pants on and slap the shit out of these bitches. That's all. Thank you all so much.
Let's fucking go, Ray. Mr. Holt.
Yeah, I just want to say, just want to piggyback that, no pun intended with my name being Mr. Huddlepig. But I also, look, this is, Ray, I just gave you a follow, and I've heard you speak before. I don't know why I was not following you. I may back channel you something to invite you to a space that promotes everything that you just said. No shills here, but I'm just going to say this. It's something that I truly have been sort of communicating to a big community that I'm in, which is has a lot to do with these next elections, and that is this. It's one thing to be a believer, right? We all have this sense of being in crypto that we believe in it, right? It's one thing to be a believer, but you also need to be effective. Belief is nothing unless you have effectiveness. This is what Ray is. Ray is an effective person that is completely convicted and completely built within his beliefs, but he is taking it to the next level and becoming, an effective person, an activist, a doer, a maker, a contributor, And this is something that we lack thereof. And I'll just also say this: a maxi perspective, right? A maxi perspective, because I look, I got, I would arguably say that I am a Bitcoin maxi when you look at my portfolio. But what I am is I am a proponent of free speech, but free speech means absolutely nothing unless you have the freedom to transact. That is the ultimate way to transfer value. It's the ultimate freedom of speech. And, we hide behind these funny JPEGs because, look, it's called being anonymous, right? And truly that in this world is really almost a necessity if you really want free speech. But I would just say that you fix the money, you fix the problems, the base layer of value, and you give everyone the ability to transact freely, right? We prosecute the crimes that are committed, not the tool that may be used for that, because the tool is also used for good. And you cannot discount that. And this is our responsibility to be advocates, to be more like Ray. Thank you guys for holding this space. And this is something that I truly believe in, and also has become just more of that effectiveness, right? That's what this is about, man. So thank you.
Appreciate that, Mr. Hold. Appreciate everyone who joined for this conversation, right? For those that don't know, Adam, myself, and Chris, who are on stage, we work at Emblem Vault, the leading cross-chain NFT protocol in the industry, with over 100 million in assets as a TVV. That's total value vaulted. We host the show Tuesday through Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. We'll be back tomorrow for our weekly inscription show where we're covering everything Bitcoin ordinals, Bitcoin stamps, counterparty, ETH inscriptions, Doginals, Litecoin ordinals, Hashinals, Bellinals, and whatever other Elinol and Ininol is going to pop up. We're covering it every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Ray, good luck to you out there, man. Wish you the best, dude. A really, really cool and incredible mission. And we'll see everybody tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, guys.